White supremacy is live and well. I think it's been speculated that that's the reason that Donald Trump is developing this relationship with Russia, because Russia is another powerful white supremacist country. I think instinctively white people realize their time is running out. Instinctively. They may not be conscious of it. And I think that they see Donald Trump as the last stand. And you also see white supremacists, the right-wing political parties taking over in much of Europe. So white supremacy is real. Now the major threat to white supremacy as I see it now is Asia. India, but to a greater extent China. And China is very, very active in Africa right now. And I fear that what we're replacing one form of supremacy and colonialism with another. So white supremacy is real, it's in danger, but we are very much victims of it.
So a black person traveling to Cuba would observe what?
Well, you would observe white people in power. And white supremacy there is much more subtle. So, for example, if you're an African American and you're in a 5-star hotel in Havana, Cuba, it would not be unusual for the security in the hotel to come and ask you, are you actually staying in this hotel? And can I see your room key? And what is your name? They would never approach a white person like that because there's a sense of ownership. So you see white supremacy at work in a more subtle fashion, or the people who work at the front desk would invariably be white. The people cleaning up the kitchen would almost always be black. People cleaning up your room would be black. So you see white supremacy play out in different ways. It may not be as overt. You may not be arrested for sitting in a Starbucks. You know, you might not be shot with your hands up in the air saying don't shoot. But it takes different forms. A black tour guide would be would have less job opportunities to lead a tour group. On my last tour to Cuba, we had a black bus driver. My tour guide, who was a Rastafarian brother, asked for a black tour guide. And he told me as a result of that, him being requested as a black man, the bus driver probably wouldn't have another job for 6 months. So black people are ostracized in these kind of places. Same thing in Brazil, in many parts of the Spanish-speaking world, places that claim there's no racism, we're all the same, we're not black, we're not white, we're Brazilians, we're Cubans, we're Dominicans. That's really an insult. And the people who say that are either people who are brainwashed or people in positions of power that white supremacy supports rather than detracts from.
Why do you think white supremacy is so strong on a global level? I mean, I know you just said that it's breaking down, and instinctively, but what's still keeping it?
Well, Europeans have been in power for hundreds of years now. They're the ones with the instruments of the state. They have the police force, they control the educational system, they control the religious institutions. And so it's natural, that they are preserving their own power, and they use state institutions to do that, whether it be educational, religious, police states, all of those things.